The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. As the monster stared at Chao Mu with its huge red eyes, Chao Mu returned the gaze with a serious expression. In the distance, Dao Shun spoke coldly. The main target is here. Chao Mu raised his spear and shouted, "Young lads, cherish your lives. Reinforcements are coming." Then he leapt toward the monster, activating his skill, demonic blood ignition technique. As he slashed at the monster's regenerating vines, he muttered to himself, "System, show me my blood and chi balance." A system notification echoed, demonic blood ignition technique activated. Chi and blood status is being calculated, 80%. Xiao Mu soared higher, then dove back toward the monster, striking again. System notification, blood value -5. QI and blood status 75%. Xiao Mu continued his relentless assault. Blood value -5. Blood value -5. Blood value -5. QI and blood status 20%. As Xiao Mu finally landed on the blood-soaked battlefield, panting heavily, the scene cut away. Meanwhile, in another corner of the battlefield, Sword Immortal Anan calmly carved statues of alluring, beautiful women. He murmured, "Fighting to the death is admirable, but what's the meaning of such sacrifice? Burning blood and chi to forcefully break through a strong enemy. But how long can your internal strength last?" And back on the front lines, Xiao Mu wheezed, "Ha, ha, ha." He thought grimly, the previous soldiers were just fragile shells. But this bean monster, it has the strength of at least a chi refinement realm cultivator. Its vines regenerate too fast. If I keep cutting like this, I'll be worn out soon. The one controlling this monster must be nearby. I need to find him. In the shadows, Wu Chang devoured the monster's spiritual energy silently. Suddenly, the monster reappeared behind Xiao Mu. As Xiao Mu turned sharply, Master Lu burst in, shouting, "Master Xiao, be careful!" He slashed through the monster's vines just in time. Then, boom! A massive hammer manifested from the air and plummeted toward Xiao Mu. Xiao Mu clenched his jaw and gathered his blood energy. "Soldiers, if I do not return to the 9 provinces, send my regards to your families." He gripped his spear and charged forward, straight into the hammer. A massive explosion erupted. Soldiers nearby were flung into the air screaming, "Ah! Ah!" Moments later, the smoke cleared. Captain Hai staggered toward the crater and cried, "Master Qiao!" Others rushed in, shouting, "Master Qiao! Master Qiao!" Captain Hai knelt beside him, his voice trembling. "Old Qiao, you can't die." Xiao Mu opened his eyes weakly, whispering, "Don't. Blame yourself. Hold on a little longer. Reinforcements will be here soon." Tears streamed down Captain Hai's face. "Old Qiao." From a nearby vantage point, Dao Shun exhaled slowly. He's finally dead. That mortal, the one senior brother Daojin favored so much, really had a few tricks. My objective is complete. Should I press on or withdraw and reorganize? Spirit stones are precious. Dao soldiers are not easily made. But I lost too many bean soldiers. Harvesting the souls of these 300 old men won't be easy. Fighting further may only bring losses. Just then, bam! Wu Chang's claw slammed into Dao Shun from behind, crushing him to the ground. Hack! Dao Shun gasped in agony. Xiao Mu stepped out from the shadows and said coldly, "So this is where you were hiding." Dao Shun trembled, sweat pouring down his face. You, how is this possible?" He stared in horror at a younger, fully revived Xiao Mu, who approached with a glowing, furious fist. Xiao Mu looked at Wu Chang. "You've done well. This immortal shall be your reward. Eat him." Wu Chang responded, "Meow." Dao Shun screamed, "You filthy beast! You lowly mortal, let me go. Do you know who I am? I am Dao Shun of the Great Path sect. You dare disrespect me? I'll refine all of you into Dao soldiers." Xiao Mu narrowed his eyes. "Dao soldiers? So you turned this city into a trap to collect the souls of dying soldiers. To refine Dao soldiers for your sect?" Dao Shun laughed bitterly. "That's right, and what of it? This entire place is a secret realm of the Great Path sect. Our disciples enter to harvest souls, each one worth 100 spirit stones. A soul-detaining formation was applied here. Soon there'll be no good souls left. Once the final one is collected, this secret realm will be destroyed immediately." He sneered. "Those old fools still hoping for reinforcements? Hilarious. No one can break the formation. None of you can escape. You will all die here. Ha ha ha." Suddenly, Xiao Mu stomped on Dao Shun's hand, shattering the chessboard he had placed on the ground. "You trap their souls and refine them into those Dao soldiers, and then return for more? You've been doing this for 40 years. Chao Mu kicked Dao Shun's face, blood spraying from his mouth. You beasts, Dao Shun hissed. You mere mortal. Chao Mu interrupted coldly. You said there wouldn't be any reinforcements. He pointed a glowing finger at Dao Shun. Let me tell you, I am the reinforcement. Then, void finger. A surge of devastating energy blasted forth toward Dao Shun. Hitting Dao Shun's temple, Dao Shun said, You will not get away. Wu Cheng purred and stepped on Dao Shun's body. Chao Mu said, I'll take that as a good omen. A few moments later, the soldiers shouted, Brothers, hold on! Believe in Master Chao! Reinforcements will be here soon. Another yelled, Yes! They charged at the monster. The monster trembled in fear as it faced the charging soldiers. Suddenly, smoke emerged from the monster. Captain Hai said, Is it over, or is this monster playing tricks again? The monster transformed into a seed. Chao Mu said, Captain Hai. Captain Hai suddenly looked back, searching for the voice. Chao Mu was walking toward them, dragging Dao Shun behind him. He said, Chao Sen, vanguard of the immortal slaying army, reporting for duty. Captain Hai broke into a sweat and cried, Old Chao. Then he noticed Chao Mu more clearly and said, No, he's not. As Chao Mu came near, Captain Hai bowed deeply and said, May I ask, Vanguard Chao, are you old Chaos? You two look so much alike. Chao Mu replied, Chao Shuangsen was my third granduncle. I know he has passed. That was his own choice. Captain Hai, you need not blame yourself. It was all this immortal's doing. He tossed Dao Shun to them. Chao Mu said, He's from the Great Path sect. He was the one who released that bean general. I have already killed him. Everyone, you no longer need to worry. Our Chao family motto is, every man has a responsibility for the rise and fall of the country. Third granduncle died a worthy death. He can surely rest in peace. And I have already killed the culprit, so I have avenged my third granduncle. Captain Hai said in joy, What a great saying. Every man has a responsibility for the rise and fall of the country. Using martial arts to slay immortals is real. We are really saved. Vanguard Chao, quickly come into the city with me. We must celebrate properly today. Chao Mu smirked and said, All right. As Chao Mu looked at the joyful soldiers in the distance, his expression turned serious. At Sword Immortal Anand's place, Master Lu said, The second immortal slaying army soldier is here. The city is celebrating. The immortal from the Great Path sect was really killed by the immortal slaying army. Sword Immortal Anand continued carving his figurines. He said, He just killed one disciple of the Great Path sect. What is there to be so happy about? Have you considered how the immortals will deal with this case after today? If they retaliate, this city will only be destroyed faster. Master Lu, frustrated, closed his eyes while listening. Suddenly, he threw one of Anand's figurines away and shouted, What do you mean? Without the old soldiers fighting to the death, this lone city would have been wiped out long ago. There wouldn't be a corner for you to carve stone statues here. Then he saw the figure on the ground. It looked like Chao Mu. Master Lu, shocked, said, You're carving, Brother Chao? He picked up the figure and said, Anand, you are not different from everyone, right? You're also sad about Brother Chao's death, aren't you? Sword Immortal Anand smirked and said, Aha! Second brother, you still have expectations from a rotten person like me? Master Lu replied, You. Even the women, children, and elderly in the city are more responsible than you. Sword Immortal Anand stood up and said, Second brother, do you know why the immortals only besiege this city and do not wipe out all its soldiers and civilians? Master Lu responded, How would I know what they are thinking? Sword Immortal Anand said, They call this place a sect's secret realm. Master Lu was shocked and confused. Sword Immortal Anand sat down again and explained, The souls of the soldiers who die in battle here cannot be reincarnated. Instead, they fall into the hands of the immortals who treat them as resources. The braver and more tenacious the soldiers are, the higher the quality of their heroic souls, and the happier the immortals will be. This is the truth of this 100-mile great desert. It is just a soul-nurturing ground for the immortal sect. Master Lu said, Does that mean the resistance of the remaining army has only brought benefits for the immortals? Why do you know so much? Where did you learn this? Why did you not tell? Suddenly he paused. He sat down and said, Right, how could you tell them? An iron army of over 300 men with firm wills, whose belief in living is to defend the city and kill enemies. Telling them to wait for death would probably be 1,000,000 times harder for them than fighting to the death. Sword Immortal Anand said, Some things, you can only do your best and leave the rest to fate. This applies to both life and death. As Master Lu walked away, Sword Immortal Anand looked at the figure of old Chao Mu and said, The sound of high mountain streams can no longer continue. I'm alone now again. In the distance, on top of a roof, Xiaomu said. Not necessarily. Xiaomu smirked and stared at Sword Immortal Anan. Sword Immortal Anan smiled and asked, "What do you mean by that?" Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.